Now let only assigns a variable when somebody calls it. So you have this let user at the top, yeah, but the user doesn't get assigned until one of your specs needs that user. Then it gets assigned.
Okay.
That's called lazy assignment. And the thing is, you have to understand that, because sometimes if you don't understand it well, you can have bugs because of that.
Yeah.
I would argue it's like more readable. It's just another way of doing it. But yeah, I mean, if you like it, why not? So,
Okay.
can you show me? Can you reproduce this problem? Can you show me the exception that you're getting?
Yeah, sure. So, um,
By the way, we have God set up in the project. Are you using God?
no, I didn't, but I could start it. Is it how is it? Is it?
Just do bundle exec God. Okay, and now just save the file, save your spec. That's it. And also you can set up God to use Zeus to run the specs.
How is that done?
Right. Go to the God file. In the root directory, there is a God file.
You mean here?
Yeah, at the bottom. Yeah, that's it. Open that up. Now, line 20, and comment line 20 and comment line 21.
Like that.
Yeah. And now
Okay.
go down to cucumber. Line. Now let me see. Yeah, do the same. And comment line 38 and comment line 39. That's it. Save the file, close God and open God in your console.
Do I need to restart the Zeus service?
No, just restart God. Okay, one warning though. If you see that some of your tests fail and they shouldn't be failing, try running them without Zeus. So God is running all the specs using Zeus, right? And sometimes you may find that something fails and like it shouldn't be. Then just try running the spec without Zeus.
Okay.
Okay, so if you keep this window somewhere so you can see it at the same time as your code, then you can just, when you save the file, you'll see that the test instantly.
Okay, so I will try to kind of minify this.
Yeah, you can. I guess you can switch off the sidebar in your Sublime.
Switch off the sidebar.
Yeah, just to save space.
Where should it
Probably
be?
view somewhere. Hide. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Okay, so try saving the file again. Okay, let's see what the problem is.
Undefined method allow. Yeah, this is
Line 27.
actually these ones are left from my previous attempts to solve this, so I'm going to delete them.
Yeah, just delete that. Well, I mean, the method is fine. One thing which you did wrong there is inside allow, you shouldn't have a symbol. You should have an instance. So without the colon. And yeah.
Sure, that was one option that I've tried, but it showed the same error. If you like, I could save it again.
Okay, let's see. Ah, right. Okay, I see the problem. Right. This allow statement is out of out of the spec. So everything has to be inside the well. You see, the example is inside the it, right? So the code has to be the code has to be in a block, either before block. It has to be either in the example block, and your allow is out of the block. So you should move it, for example, into the before block. For example, after assign. Okay. Okay, a little bit better.
Yeah. So now it shows this error that I've told you about with the display name method.
Right. Okay. So, but delete line 23 anyway, because we shouldn't have that problem at all.
Okay.
Or we may have a problem, but never mind. Okay. So let's see.
Would you like me to change some colors in
the console? Please change the color, because the dark colors always take a long time to render.
Yeah, sure. Just
Sublime is fine. Sublime is great. Just the terminal. Right. If you right-click on the terminal window, and choose profiles. Yeah, profile preferences. And then go to colors. Right. Yeah, well, just anything with a lighter back. Well, you could just change the background color.
just a second to see if this one.
Wait a second. No, wait a second. You see, you have a tick saying use color from system theme. Just untick that.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's much better. Okay, just leave it like this. No. This background is great.
Yeah, I was meaning to switch off the transparency so it would be even more readable, because now it's.
Right. Then go to the background tab.
Yeah. Solid.
Yeah, I have a solid color. Yeah, that's a lot better.
Cool. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So let's have a look. So what was the original code?
It was without this line and line 22 and uncommented user step model.
Right. Okay. So. Okay. So basically, in this is a view spec. So we need something to pass to the view, so it can render it. We can pass just anything, but we can use factorial for that. So you're doing factorial build stubbed. Okay. Right. Let's see. Okay, so let's see the error again. Can you just scroll up to the first error? Okay, so undefined method display name for nil class. Right, okay. So the problem is not that display name doesn't exist. The problem is that our somebody is calling display name on a nil class.
Okay.
And the reason for that is that the view is not getting the user instance. You have to pass it to the view. And one way of passing something to the view is assigning an instance variable. You see, before on line 8, you were assigning @user. You were assigning an instance variable, right?
Yeah.
And
Okay.
all instance variables get passed to the view automatically. If you're now you're not assigning an instance variable. Now you're doing a let_user, and that just means you're creating a variable inside the spec, but you're not assigning it to the spec. So what you need to do, you need to add, after line 22, you need to add the same line, assign symbol user.
A symbol user, okay.
A symbol user, comma, user. And that means, take my user, which I have created with my let, and assign it to the user variable to the it should be okay.
So basically, if I understand this right, this user is the one we've created from the let statement, and this is the instance variable that's going to be assigned to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So I'm saving the spec, but nothing happens to the guard.
You're saving the spec, it's not running.
Yeah.
Try again. Okay, that's weird. Try changing anything and saving again. Like, deleting something and then putting it back. Yeah, like this.
Nope, it's not working.
Okay, weird. Okay, just restart God. Strange. It's not picking up the changes, but okay. Okay, and try again. Okay. Okay, let's see. So what problem do we have now? For nil class, the same problem. Can you scroll up to the first error, please?
I'm just thinking, is it possible for this declaration here to be messing up?
Yeah, maybe, exactly. I mean, you have to remove the instance, the @sign, because now it is available just as a regular. Yeah, try this. I mean, ideally, we should go into the view and have a look who is calling. Okay, well, it's working now.
Okay, cool.
So one way of doing it, if you want a variable to be available in the whole of the spec, you can create an instance variable, like, for example, the projects collection created in the before block.
Yeah.
Another way of allowing a variable to be available in the whole of spec is making a let. But if you're doing a let, then you would have to explicitly assign it to the view.
Sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
this is working now.
Yeah, now it's working, and I was going to ask you about how do you think would be fine to deal with the projects collection as well, using the factory Go build step, or?
Right. Okay. So let's see. Well, I mean, let's do it. Assign a new comment this one out, and let's assign a new projects collection. Well, actually,
Okay.
comment out the block inside the map from line 10 to line 17.
I could. Okay.
Okay, and inside this block, write factory goal, build stub, project. Okay, and now you see the good thing about factory goal is that it can assign different variables for you, so you don't have to do it like well, yeah, surely this is not going to work, but you see, like here, when you do stub model, you have to assign a lot of variables like ID, title, description, status, and so on. Factory goal can do all that for you, so you assign only those things which you need for your tests. Now, the problem is we don't know which things are needed for the test and which things are not needed for the test. So one way of doing this is actually just looking down through the test and seeing are all those values being checked.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we have a check for pagination, but it's not used in here.
Well, I mean, or we can go another way. We can look through the errors and just see what is missing. Let's have a look. If you scroll up, let's see. So what is it missing there? Oh, right.
It's a syntax error.
Okay, so yeah, comment out the yeah. Okay, that's better. Okay, so let's see where it fails.
It's the same one, I guess. The factory for the project is not assigning a user. It's always.
So let's do that assignment first. So after the project, do comma, and then user.
Like that.
Yeah. And try this.
Okay, this is passing.
So see, we don't actually need all these different assignments. So in that way, you cleaned up the spec. So you might just as well delete that.
Okay. And delete the one for user as well.
Yeah, you don't need that anymore. Well, leave that back for a second. I want to show you something.
Okay.
Right, okay. So what happens here is we're creating a user, which is factory girl creates a real object. And that real object has an instance method, which is called display name. Ideally, for the test to be independent and isolated, we don't want to rely on how that display name works. So we might as well just stub it out and make it return what we want to return. Like, for example, now, if you call display name on a user, you don't actually know what it's going to return, right?
Yeah.
By stubbing it out on line 8, you can know exactly what it's going to return. But the question is, just do a search through this file and see if any of the tests check for John Butcher. Just do a test for John and see if there's John somewhere.
No, just at the declaration.
Okay, then delete it. If there's no John, then nobody cares.
Okay. And I shouldn't stub it out because
well, there is no reason. You would want to stub it out if you would want to check the value, but you're not checking the value, then why bother?
Yeah. So actually, this is not a a missing case, because I guess the display name is displayed in the header of the page, so we probably have a separate test for this, and it's not needed to be covered in the project's specs.
By the way, you can delete each on line 7. Yeah. And another thing is, now you have line 12 and 13. That's the old syntax, and it should be changed to a new one, allow. Allow project collections to receive total pages and return. Yeah.
Okay. And the same one with one below.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This here should be, it still should be an instance variable, right? Although it's using, I'm thinking that for consistency, we could just name this one projects and make it a local one, because...
Well, I would suggest you save after changing those 2 lines and seeing if the test still pass, before you make too many changes.
Okay.
And now, about your question, whether the projects collection should be an instance variable, well, it depends if anybody in the test is actually using that projects collection. Do a search on projects collection in the test. Yeah, you see.
Yeah.
Wait a second. Right. If you go up, then I see. Well, I mean, if you want to use let syntax, then you should move that line 8 to line 10. No. Yeah. You should
line 8.
Yeah, you should move that block, line 8 to line 10, into the let block on line 18.
Into it.
So line 18, yeah, in here, just delete this and paste it in.
I'm not sure how the alignment should be.
Put an enter after the first curly brace.
Okay, and like that.
Well, you can. Well, no, don't make the indentation so big. It's okay. Just yeah, you can move it like this. It's absolutely fine. And now also put an enter after the second curly brace in the map block. Right. Okay, I see. So if you have a long, if you have a long block, instead of using the curly brace, prefer to use do end. So when you have map curly brace, instead do map do.
Okay. And now do an end.
Yeah, and then okay, so it looks a lot nicer now.
Yeah.
Now this is gonna fail because what you need to do now, you're assigning to the project collection the result of this map block. So you don't need the add projects collection equals. Yeah. Okay. That's one thing. And now if you go to your before block, you don't need to refer to the project collection with the add sign anymore because now it's available in the whole spec. Yep. And the one below.
Is it a problem that the let block on line 14 is before the before statement?
No, that's the thing. That's the thing about lazy assignment. As soon as your project collection is needed by somebody, the assignment will happen and it will find it. But of course, it's better to move it to the top, so you can see easily what has been assigned in the spec.
Okay, and if I'm understanding this correctly, we are kind of here for especially for the user and projects collection, late is not quite very well used because we are anyways using it in a before block, and it's assigning them on each cycle. So there is not going to be a chance that they are not going to be assigned.
Yeah, but on the other hand, it's considered as a good practice because you can see what has been assigned explicitly to the view, like you have on line 15 and 16. And by the way, don't forget the @ sign at line 15.
Yeah.
Okay, try running the spec. Okay. Yep.
Okay, so we've moved through that part, and I guess that I would need to correct the should statements at the examples of the R specs. So here I
have content.
I'm sorry?
Expect rendered to have content.
Yeah. Like that, and I should save it to see if it's okay.
Yeah, should be fine. Okay.
Okay, cool. So here are pretty much the same.
Let's scroll down and see if there is anything different. I mean, you'll handle the problems. Okay. So here is fine. Right. Okay. View stub. View stub, that should be changed.
Okay, so here
allow view to receive and return. Okay, you know how to handle that. But
yeah. Okay.
Let's scroll down. Okay, view stub again.
Here's okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, sure. So I'll get back to this one later. And I don't know, how are you with the time? I mean, I think I'm okay, and I could handle the other ones after you explain me the basic principles of let and before. I didn't.
I would like to take a break for about half an hour just to have some lunch, and then I'll be back. So you can do some refactoring, and then if you run into any problems, just let me know. We can pair again.
Okay, sure. I'll be taking a break as well for lunch, and we'll continue with some refactoring, and we'll let you know in Slack if there's some problem again. Sure.
Have you been looking at any other specs, by the way?
I've reviewed some specs that Nikita wrote about documentation, and I think that
we can have a look at some other spec at the moment. Just maybe we'll find something new.
Okay. You have something in mind?
No. I was just thinking if you were looking at some specs, maybe maybe you had some ideas how to refactor it.
In terms of making the specs shorter, or
No. I mean, like you were looking at this spec and you had some questions, and I thought that maybe you were looking at some other specs too, and I had some questions as
oh,
well.
not at the moment. I've reviewed the project specs that I had to refactor, and basically they're pretty much straightforward as this one here. So
All
my
right.
general problems were with the factory build stopped
Oh,
issues.
by the way, Sly, it's on line 6, same issue because you have a multi-line block. It's better to change the curly brace into the do end,
Yeah.
and then reduce the indentation for the block inside the LED.
Okay.
Yeah? Okay, that's cool.
Sure. So I started to I had to ask some question yesterday, but I couldn't figure it out later. I'm not sure how I should receive some coverage statistics about the project views and so on. I'm not really sure that there are some statistics about the view specs, because I was thinking that I could yeah.
There are some statistics about everything basically, but I wouldn't worry about it, at this moment.
Okay, because I was thinking I
Yeah, I
could.
would suggest you come back to it at some point later because otherwise you'll just get drowned at this point.
Okay, so my task is basically to refactor it just using some RSpec tree assignments and avoid some deprecation warnings, and then could return with another story to higher up the coverage
Yeah,
percentage.
yeah. But
Yeah,
mind you, this is the view spec. I would suggest after that you try a controller spec and the model spec. They're different, and you'll run into different issues.
sure, okay.
And by the way, one minor point, if you look at line 20, now it's kind of a new style to remove should and have it renders.
Okay, yeah, it renders so the rest of the descriptions of
Yeah,
the
that's
it
kind of
block.
a new fashion for writing specs. You say what it
Yeah,
does rather than what it should do.
okay, yeah, we'll have it in mind, yeah.
Yeah, all right. Okay, so
Okay,
good
okay.
luck on this, and if you have any questions in about half an hour or so, I'll be around.
Okay, thank you very much.
No problem at all. See you around.
See you, bye bye.
Bye, bye, bye.